Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 greatest rock bands of the 2000s. For this list, we'll be looking at the best rock groups that were either formed or rose to prominence between 2000 and 2009, and whose presence revitalized the genre during the decade. We've selected these acts based on a combination of their influence, critical and commercial success, and enduring legacy. Which of these bands helped define the 2000s for you? Let us know in the comments.
If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below.
Number 10. The Strokes. With the release of their EP The Modern Age in 2001, The Strokes pulled rock music into the 21st century with a fresh yet familiar take. The group, which was formed in New York a few years before the millennium, was influenced by similar acts before them, like the Velvet Underground. Their debut studio album, Is This It?, earned rave reviews for its concise and straightforward structure, becoming an emblem of the post-punk and garage rock revival of the 2000s.
Stop to reach out, stop reaching in. It seems this game is simply never ending.
Their love for catchy guitar riffs, gritty bass lines, and carefree lyrics was replicated on their follow-up albums that decade, Room on Fire and First Impressions of Earth. It's easy to see why they've inspired a great many alternative rock musicians. Number 9. Coldplay. After the second British invasion of the 1980s, the influx of music acts from the UK into the US started to decline. But that all changed with the emergence of English rock band Coldplay.
Look at the stars, look how they shine for you.
Formed in London in the mid to late 90s, they were launched into the stratosphere of superstardom when their first studio album, Parachutes, landed in 2000. It won them their first of multiple Grammys and helped bring their brand of indie-tinged acoustic rock to the mainstream.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against.
With each successive album, Coldplay has pushed the boundaries of their sound, experimenting with indie pop, art rock, and even Afropop music over the years.
Nothing else compares.
But through it all, they've never let go of the emotional thread connecting them to their beloved fans.
Never an honest word. That was when I ruled the world.
Number 8. The Killers. When the Killers released Mr. Brightside, everyone, from the folks in neon-laced streets of their hometown Las Vegas to the ones in London pubs, took notice. The electrifying alternative rock band was off to a great start.
Open up my eager eyes, 'cause I missed the bright side.
Their first album, Hot Fuss, was inspired in part by British new wave music, producing 4 synth-heavy singles that became radio staples.
Somebody told me you had a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend that I had in February of last year.
Not ones to limit themselves, the Killers largely stripped things down as they tackled heartland rock on their next project, Samstown.
He doesn't look a thing like Jesus, but he talks like a gentleman.
They even dabbled in fist-pumping arena rock for their third album, Day and Age. Their songs found a home locally and internationally, with the band getting an impressive streak of 7 #1 albums in the UK.
The spaceman says everybody look down, it's all in your mind.
Number 7. Arcade Fire. With only 2 studio albums released during the first decade of the 2000s, Arcade Fire have proven that sometimes a little goes a long way.
Time to close your eyes.
Emerging from the blossoming indie scene of Montreal in 2001, it took 3 years for the band to make their formal debut. That came in the form of Funeral, a widely acclaimed album that effortlessly mixes art rock, orc pop, and baroque to create a bizarrely beautiful catalog. Their sweeping anthems, which dwell on themes of death, religion, and life in suburbia, easily cemented them as one of the most innovative exponents of indie rock. Throughout the decade, Arcade Fire put in painstaking work, laying the foundation for their eventual Album of the Year win at the 2011 Grammys. Though their legacy was tainted by the sexual misconduct allegations against Win Butler in 2022, there's no denying Arcade Fire did their best work in the 2000s.
Sometimes I can't believe it. I'm moving past the feeling.
Number 6. Green Day. The dawn of Green Day first cracked in 1994, when their major label debut, Dookie, elevated them onto the world stage. But it wasn't until the mid-2000s that the East Bay, California band truly came to form. With their politically charged concept album American Idiot, Green Day took things to the grandest level possible, exploring a captivating operatic punk rock sound.
I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known.
It was an international success, topping multiple charts worldwide and earning them the Grammy for Best Rock Album.
Like shadows, only one that walks beside me.
The fact that it later got its own Broadway musical tells you everything you need to know about its impact. With American Idiot and its follow-up 21st Century Breakdown, Green Day influenced everything from the emo punk riffs of Fall Out Boy to Lady Gaga's electropop sound.
121 guns, lay down your arms, and give up the fight.
Number 5. The White Stripes. The iconic two-piece of Jack and Meg White emerged from Detroit's garage rock scene back in the late 90s.
And a message coming from my eyes says, leave it alone.
Although married at the time, the White Stripes masqueraded as siblings, an act they kept up even after their relationship and eventual divorce were discovered. The duo notably attained critical and commercial success in the early 2000s with their third and fourth studio albums, White Blood Cells and Elephant.
Now we're a family, and we're alright now. We got money and a little place to fight now.
Featuring a unique blend of blues, punk, and stripped-down garage rock, their music, in all of its red, white, and black glory, revitalized the genre throughout the aughts.
How dare you?
Winning 3 Grammys for Best Alternative Music Album, the White Stripes ended the decade and highly influential career with a loud, icky thump. Number 4. My Chemical Romance. There is no one who wasn't living under a rock in the aughts that can claim to not have known My Chemical Romance.
They set out teenagers scared the living shit out of me.
The Newark, New Jersey band defined the alternative rock scene in the mid-2000s. They charged their way into the mainstream with a theatrical fusion of pop punk, gothic rock, and emo. The group's major label debut, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, established their affinity for exploring conceptual albums while addressing topics of romance, nihilism, and death. They revisited such themes on their 2006 magnum opus, The Black Parade.
He said, son, when you grow up, would you be the savior of the broken?
It received multi-platinum certifications in the US and UK, solidifying them as one of the most ambitious bands to ever walk the earth. Number 3. Blink-182. Rising out of the 90s skate punk scene in California, Blink-182 appealed to a large audience with their upbeat tempos, catchy hooks, and toilet humor.
Let's make this night last forever and ever. Let's make this last forever.
Going into the 2000s, the band had already amassed a legion of ride or die fans who stuck by their side as their sound evolved into the new millennium.
Hanging out behind the club on the weekend, acting stupid, getting drunk with my best friend.
2001's Take Off Your Pants and Jacket rode this wave straight to the top of the Billboard 200, a feat no other punk rock album had achieved upon debuting.
Fell in love with a girl at the rock show. She said what, and I told her that I didn't know.
Their self-titled follow-up arrived 2 years later and was hailed by critics as a more grown-up take on their signature sound.
Hello there, the angel from my nightmare, the shadow in the background of the moor.
Even with the hiatus during the decade, Blink-182 remains one of the most important punk rock groups of their generation.
Where are you? And I'm so sorry. I cannot sleep, I cannot dream tonight.
Number 2. Linkin Park. Formed in Los Angeles, California in 1996, Linkin Park spent the first few years of their career struggling to find a label to call home.
It starts with
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try.
They eventually signed a deal with Warner Brothers Records, under which they put out their debut effort, Hybrid Theory, in 2000. Not only did that album make them famous worldwide, it also set them apart from other rap rock bands that populated the scene.
Falling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal.
Linkin Park never let their angsty, heavy-hitting sound overshadow the vulnerability and emotion that served as the foundation for their songs.
I've become so numb, I can't feel you there.
The band also managed to marry their style with more traditional hip-hop, creating the Grammy-winning classic Numb Encore with Jay-Z.
What the hell are you waiting for?
After me, there should be no walls. For one last time, people make some noise.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Audioslave, a truly unique supergroup. Avenged Sevenfold. The band revitalized heavy metal with their experimental touch.
Just a man who sights, so rarely tire lights will take me to new heights.
Queens of the Stone Age. They helped elevate stoner rock to the Billboard charts.
We get these pills to swallow. How they stick in your throat.
Arctic Monkeys. This English band's witty garage rock music made them a phenomenon.
I bet that you look good on the dance floor. I don't know if you're looking for romance or I don't know what you're looking for.
Muse. They offered an electrifying brand of alt-rock throughout the decade.
Now time is running out. Now time is running out.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Foo Fighters. Following the 1994 death of Kurt Cobain, Nirvana drummer Dave Grohl dropped his sticks to assemble one of the most prolific rock bands of all time. Although the Foo Fighters have been giving us amazing songs for many decades, they really came into their own during the 2000s.
I love it, but I hate that taste. Way keeping me down.
That's when the band proved to be a steady rock hit machine, cranking out hard-edged, punchy singles that have dominated both mainstream and alternative radio stations.
It's times like these you learn to live again.
Revered by both fans and their industry peers, the Foo Fighters have won the Grammy for Best Rock Album a mind-blowing 5 times as of 2022.
I'm finished making sense. Done bleeding ignorance at home. Defense.
With the loss of their longtime drummer Taylor Hawkins in 2022, the band's future is unclear. But at times like these, all we can do is blast their absolutely stellar 2000s discography and rock out.
What if I say I'm not like the others? What if I say I'm not just another one of your plays? You're the protector.
Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.